We are now in a maximum state of alert when it comes to war, World War III, and Israel dragging the United States into war with Iran. We are at maximum alert right now. The rhetoric is red hot from both sides. Both sides are saying things that are really unprecedented. In fact, Yahya Rahim Safavi, a senior military advisor to Iran's supreme leader, who said that Iran is preparing for war that could restart with Israel at any time, and there's no such thing as a ceasefire, he said. We are just in a stage of war. So that came out back in August, but of course, since then, things have been heating up even more. I have information for you here on screen showing flight trackers of military assets of the U.S. being moved into the Middle East, specifically at a base in Qatar, is where we're seeing a lot of strato tankers. So again, this is what we saw back in June with the 12-day war. We saw a military buildup of aerial refuelers so that Israel and the United States, of course, can bomb, so they can do their shock and awe bombing campaigns against Iran. Everything's gearing up. So welcome back to Overcome Babylon. I'm Abraham Ojeda. And I've been talking about the Israel-Iran war before it was even a reality. I was warning that there was going to be a confrontation with Israel and Iran going at it, and this is going to lead to World War III. And I'm going to show you some cool, very interesting details today about the blood moon cycle that just finished last month. So right now it's October 1st. In September of 2025, there was a second blood moon. I want to talk about that because I really have had time to meditate on it and think about it. So this blood moon cycle that just happened, it began on March 14th, and then it ended in September 7th. Like, I'm calling it a cycle because it's the appearance of two blood moons only 178 days apart, and it just so happens that the countries that saw these blood moons, which are total lunar eclipses, by the way, it's the same thing, they're synonymous. These total lunar eclipses, the United States was the primary recipient of the first one, and then the second one, Israel and Iran were the recipients of those, along with Moscow, Kiev, China, like BRICS, like pretty much all of BRICS. Over 80% of the world's population saw the September 7th total lunar eclipse, but especially Jerusalem and Tehran. And so this is beyond the realm of coincidence. I'm going to put together some pieces together for you today to really understand the prophetic puzzle and what this omen means, because make no mistake about it, I talk about it all the time. This is a sign from God. Genesis 1:14 says, let the lights in the celestial, the heavens, the celestial bodies, let them be for signs and seasons. So that's why I always look for these blood moons, solar eclipses. I look at these things here on Overcome Babylon and in my work, because they're extremely important to discern the signs of the times, right? These are the types of things we should be watching for. We just need to understand what they mean. And so when you look at this particular cycle of blood moons, this is from the NASA website. You have the March 14th and the September 7th. We're going to have another one on March 3rd. That's also a total lunar eclipse. I'll show you that in a second. So another blood moon. So we have 3 blood moons back to back, and we're not going to see any more until 2028, until December 31st, 2028. So we have basically a triple blood moon omen happening. I'm not going to consider that last one, though, part of this analysis today. I just want to show you what we've seen so far and what we're seeing happening in the news geopolitically and everything else. So the total lunar eclipse, let's take a look at it, March 14th. Again, this is what started this cycle that we're currently in. I'm saying we're still in it because of things, obviously, that I mentioned about Israel and Iran still in a state of not even being a ceasefire. They're just making war preparations, obviously. And so this blood moon back in March, you see it's visibly centrally located right over the United States, but of course South America saw it. Just because, for example, where it says P4, U4, U3, those areas can still see it, but just because it's not directly in the center doesn't mean that those places didn't see it. South America all the way to Brazil, of course, saw it. Even western parts of Africa and Europe saw the March 14th blood moon. But it was centrally visible over the United States. Let's take a look at it on satellite imagery. I'm going to show you what this looks like. We can see that, yes, this is the blood moon right here, this little black little circle here. It's just a way of depicting it. And it was visible right here over the United States, big time. I mean, if you click, it's kind of cool. This is a website called Jubier, and you can kind of click around and see visibility percentages and stuff like that for eclipses. And then we had the September 7th, 2025 eclipse that just happened last month. It hasn't even been a month yet. And when we look at it here on the map, you can see again, once again, India, China, all the way to Moscow, Kiev. Like I said, over 80% of the world's population saw this one. This was really a global total lunar eclipse, blood moon. But of course, Iran was a key location for visibility of this blood moon. And then, of course, Jerusalem saw this blood moon as well. That is extremely significant. Again, this is what it looks like on satellite imagery, so you can see all the different countries that are present here. And again, it was just highly, highly visible here, all over the Middle East, all over West Asia, extremely, extremely visible here. And so we have another one coming up in 2026. March 3rd is going to be the next one. If we take a look at that, this is just going to be in the Pacific Ocean here. Hawaii's going to see it. You're going to have Western Australia, the west coast of the United States, of course, Japan. So I don't know what this one means yet. I haven't really taken a good look at it and really understood maybe some of the implications of this one, but I just want to let you know that there's another total lunar eclipse blood moon coming up. And again, I want to repeat just this what we're seeing here with what we already have on the table. Iran issues new war warning any moment. Again, that's coming from the Iranian side, but the Western side is just about the same, right? We need to strike Iran. We need to take care of all their enrichment. We need to do all these things. And like I said, troop movements of heavy cargo planes, strato tankers for aerial refueling, for bombing campaigns of fighter jets, all that stuff's happening. So look, here's what I'm going to show you right now. What we were warned about with the two blood moons of 2025 from March 14th to September 7th is exactly what we're seeing now, the Iran-Israel war, because the exact midpoint was June 11th, 2025. Okay? That's exactly where the 12-day war started, almost. I'm going to show you in just a second. So I'm saying warning, warning, warning. This could be the winter, the Sabbath or winter, where we might see a nuclear exchange. It's again, we're at a state of high alert, as I stated at the very beginning of this video. Let's take a look at the calendar, okay? So when you look at the 178 days between these two blood moons, you go to the middle, it's June 11th. That was exactly 2 days before the 12-day war started, from June 13th on a Friday to Tuesday, June 24th. So again, that Wednesday, June 11th being our midpoint for this cycle, how significant is that? If you think that's coincidence, you're crazy, okay? It's not coincidence, because you have these two blood moons, midpoint, boom, 12-day war. And so what we're being warned about is, even though the cycle is technically finished, or we could say that it's completed, you have the two bookends, the two bookmarks, these two timestamps. Just because the 12-day war in this case came and went doesn't mean that Israel and Iran are never going to go to war. In fact, it's the opposite. Because these blood moons directly in the center was this war, we should now expect any moment, just like we're hearing in the news, okay? This is where the news media is actually telling the truth. Any moment we should be expecting Israel and Iran to go back to war. It's just the way it is. It's just the way the cycle has played out. It could have played out differently. But yeah, we're already seeing the troop buildup. We're seeing some very high-level military meetings in the United States and Virginia at a secret base. You're seeing the government shutdown happening in the United States right now, just announced today. We don't know how long that's going to last. You see all these strange developments. People can feel it. It's tangible. Something's not right. Something's out of place. And I'm telling you, it has to do with this blood moon cycle. It has to do with Iran and Israel going to war. The U.S., of course, being dragged into it, supplying all the weapons, all the money, and getting everything ready. And again, recently there was a UN meeting where basically every country under the sun called for a two-state solution, recognizing Palestine as being sovereign, and that this Israel agenda, this greater Israel agenda, needs to stop. And of course, Netanyahu blasted this. He's saying, no, this is shameful. And so, Israel has become increasingly isolated on the world stage. This is exactly what we should be expecting. Now, if you enjoy these types of analyses, we're looking at both news, geopolitics, but also the celestial signs. I encourage you to check out Bible Prophecy Secrets, because there's another solar eclipse, not a lunar, but a solar eclipse cycle happening over the Middle East that's going to be extremely important, coming up in 2027 to 2034. And you can download Bible Prophecy Secrets for free, get the first 3 chapters for free, and also get a free 3-day deep dive training into the 70 weeks of Daniel, so you can understand and discern the signs of the times, the time of the end, which we're in right now, okay? So right now we're in the 7th Hebrew month. It started with the Feast of Trumpets, September 23rd in the evening, but of course we have Day of Atonement coming up, Tabernacles, the first day of Tabernacles, and then we have the 8th day of Tabernacles. So here's what I'm going to say. The holy days of the 7th month are now upon us, and there's a specific prophecy that hasn't happened yet with the Day of Atonement. That's October 2nd to October 3rd this year. And I'm not saying that this is about to happen, but it's very likely, it's possible. So it's something to keep an eye out for, especially with the blood moon omen that I just showed you. You just need to pay attention to what's going on, right? So I've talked about it quite a few times. It's in my book, Bible Prophecy Secrets, but there's a day, Isaiah 22 verse 12 says, there's a day where the Lord of hosts called for weeping and for mourning, for baldness and for girding with sackcloth. But instead, people were being joyous, glad. They're eating oxen and killing sheep and just drinking and being merry, saying, let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we die. Isaiah 22:14 says, it was revealed in my hearing by the Lord God of hosts, surely for this iniquity there will be no atonement for you, even to your death. And the context here is that there are archers from Iran, from Elam, that are ransacking and taking over Jerusalem, the Valley of Vision. I've talked about this a number of times here on the channel, so I'm not going to go through it again, but just understand that what we're seeing is God called for fasting on the Day of Atonement, and something happened in Jerusalem. Something happened where the people didn't care. Their hearts weren't right. Their hearts weren't ready. They couldn't discern the signs of the times like you can here at Overcome Babylon, especially with the information I just gave you. And so they weren't ready. They weren't actually observing God's holy days. They weren't actually doing the things that are pleasing in the eyes of God. And the archers of Elam, literally the archers is a reference to modern technology, are going to strike with their missiles, and Jerusalem is going to be ransacked by these archers. There's going to be missiles flying, and it's going to be overpowered, overthrown. So keep your eyes out for that prophecy, Isaiah chapter 22. And hopefully this analysis has been helpful for you. Please share this message. Is very important for people to understand these things. Subscribe so you don't miss any new updates. I know I've been away from the channel for a little bit. I have more videos coming. I have a lot of things I've been working on, and I'm going to be posting more regularly soon. And especially if Israel and Iran go to war again, I'm going to be covering that, not necessarily play by play, but I'll be covering some key developments and stuff like that, and sharing insights and helping to sound the alarm, because it's not just any other war in the Middle East. This is the war that's going to usher in something very massive, something very unprecedented, called the abomination of desolation. So again, I'm your brother Abraham. God bless, take care, and draw close to Jesus like never before.